Hi everyone, it's John from What Up. Before we start, I do want to thank you all for subscribing to the channel and watching the videos. I do this for two reasons. One, it's a whole lot of fun and I have a good time doing it. And two, for you guys. As long as you're watching the videos, I'm going to keep making them because this is a blast and I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. So if you haven't already subbed to the channel or if you just stumbled upon me, I do run 2 to 3 videos a week, usually released on the weekend, and they mostly deal with Amazon Prime's TV show, the Wheel of Time TV show, rather, that's going to be released. We'll get to that in a bit soon on Amazon Prime. So if you want news about that or some information on the books, because I do have an explained series that I do run on the channel as well, or information on merchandising, anything pretty much to do with the Wheel of Time, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell and see the couple of videos I put out a week. All right, now that's all out of the way, let's get to this week's news. Now, we don't really have a whole lot of news to give this week. It's been pretty much radio silence from the cast and crew. Not many pictures on Instagram that haven't been, that have given anything away, at least anyway. They're still posting stuff about them going out and having fun in Prague and in the surrounding areas, but nothing that's giving anything away or anything to speculate on, at least so far that I've seen this week. So really don't have much news in that area. But on the 13th, we did have a press release from ValerianSteel.com. ValerianSteel.com is a replica website. So they deal with replica props, so swords, armor, jewelry, replica statues, magical items, things of that nature. And they are mostly centered around HBO's Game of Thrones. As those of you who've read the series or watched the show, Valerian steel is a type of steel from the show. It's a very, very fine type of steel, and that's where they get the name of the website from. So if you look on the website, and the link is in the description box down below if you guys do want to check it out, they have some pretty cool stuff. So if you're familiar with the series, they have Arya's Needle, Robert Baratheon's Warhammer, Unsullied Armor, some jewelry, basically a lot of iconic things that you would expect to see on the TV show on a regular basis or things that you'll recognize right away. And they have them on this website. Now, I took a look through myself and the quality looks great. I can't really speak to it though. I've never ordered anything off it. I'm not a real big Game of Thrones fan. I've read the books and I love the books to death. They were excellent books. However, I kind of made the promise to myself when I finished the book series that I didn't want to go much further in the TV show than the books were because I was going to wait for the books to come out because I prefer to read something before I watch it. That way I have no preconceived notions when I'm reading the books. And you can all probably guess how that turned out because Winds of Winter is still not released. So I did watch the show for a few seasons. I never finished it, and I kind of gave up on it. I do know that it deviated massively from the books in a lot of different ways. Some ways were good, some ways were really not so good, and I can tell you that the last season, well, we won't talk about that because I can't really speak on it because I never watched it, but I've heard all the hype and the rumors and all the other stuff about it that people didn't like it very much. So anyway, the stuff is pricey and it looks nice, but like I said, I can't really speak to the quality of it because I haven't really had anything from their website. But they're now going to make Wheel of Time stuff, which is pretty neat. So let's get into the press release they sent out on the 13th. Now, before we read it, I do want you guys to realize something. They are now a merchandiser for the Wheel of Time, so they're dealing with Sony and they're dealing with Amazon, not just Harriet and the other Wheel of Time regulars that we were all used to seeing that some of the other merchandisers dealt with. So when they release things like a PR thing like this, Amazon and Sony's PR people probably go through it with a fine-tooth comb. There's no way that some guy's just sitting at their computer at 3 in the morning, kind of like I'm doing, and they hammer something out in 5 minutes and go, yep, I'm throwing that on the website. It sounds real good to me. It probably goes to somebody, they approve it, goes to somebody else, they approve it. There's probably multiple levels of approval for a bunch of different reasons. They're big companies. They don't want to be surprised by anything. They want to tightly control anything that's released about their properties. And they don't want to look stupid either. So they don't want these people to say something that'll reflect poorly upon them. So in today's age, when you have to be very careful of what you say and do, and we always probably should have, but today's more so, a small slip up can mean big losses for major companies. So they tightly control everything that's released on their behalf. So with that said, we're going to read the first line of this press release, and then we're going to stop and talk about it. Filming now to premiere on Amazon Prime TV in 2020. Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. I'm going to stop there. So, premiering on Amazon Prime TV in 2020. That's massive news. That's huge. I mean, that's the closest we've gotten to a release date yet. And it's from a merchandiser on their PR release about doing Wheel of Time merch. And you know this was approved by all the people above them, so I'm taking this as gospel. I would go with that we're going to see the show in 2020. Probably very late 2020 because you're looking at filming ends in May, and then after the end of May, they have post-production, and in post-production, they're going to have to do a ton of stuff. So they're going to be looking at doing some of the Dark One's minions, the Shadow Spawn, the One Power use, some of the big battle scenes, some of the big cities. They're all going to need CG. Some of the characters themselves will need CG as well. And you know that it's going to be high level because if you look at shows like Carnival Row and The Boys, they do a really good job of the CG they do. So the post-production is going to be quite involved. So you're looking at probably multiple months of post-production. I would guess we're going to see a trailer next summer, maybe just prior to July, into June, early July, and we'll probably see the series in early fall. That's my guess. And I hope I'm right because I'd rather see it next fall than 2021. Anyway, back to the rest of the press release here. So, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time is one of the best-selling works of fantasy of the past generation. He was very close with George R. R. Martin to the point where George named a house in Westeros after him, House Jordanane. Unfortunately, Robert Jordan had a rare blood disease and died before he could finish. Brandon Sanderson was enlisted and wrote the final 3 books, 14 books in total. They occupy an entire shelf at my house. There's plenty of material for a long-running series. There are many cool weapons and magical items that can be made into replicas. In October, we signed a license with Sony, the producer of the series, to produce weapons, armor, jewelry, statues, and Ingriel, magical items from the show. Then the last paragraph just talks about the Twitter accounts and Dragon Mount and the Wheel of Time Facebook page, places where you can get information about the show, so to speak. So they're doing armor, jewelry, statues, things of that nature, but what I'm most interested about is the objects of power. So we're going to see some pretty iconic stuff being replicated here. So when you look at the weapons and armor, you're going to see things like Rand's sword, Land's sword, Moraine's staff, some of the other really iconic weapons from the series that I'm not going to say too much about because they are spoilers for the book series. And when you hear about the weapons, it gives things away. But there's some pretty iconic stuff that is featured throughout the series in the books, and I'm going to assume in the TV show as well that we're probably going to see that I'm really excited about. I remember a long time ago you could pick up the Hairmark Blade, and there was a website creating replicas of that, and they were pretty cool. I, however, was pretty young at the time, and I never got a chance to own one. So here is my chance to maybe really own a Hairmark Blade, which is really neat. So the objects of power, we're going to see some really iconic stuff that's featured in the books that has, a big place in the storyline and things the characters do. Again, I won't get into it because it could spoil things from the books and the show, but I'm pretty excited for that stuff. So here's the thing. The things in this website are pretty expensive. Far above and beyond the budget to own one of everything like I would really love to. So when they finally do start releasing things, my goal is to pick up 1 or 2 items, maybe not one of everything, but one or two here and there, and then review them. So when they come in, I'll do a video on the items, review them, see their quality, see what they look like. That way you folks can take a look at them and see if you like them as well, and maybe get kind of a little bit of a look-see before you purchase. That's my goal, because I'm going to buy them regardless. I'm gonna pick some stuff up because it's pretty cool. I'm gonna be broke for a little bit. So that's the news that we've had. So first merchandiser released some information. I'm pretty excited. I plan on picking some stuff up as soon as they release it. I know I have their webpage bookmarked now, and I'm going to be checking periodically to see when they actually do start releasing this stuff. Now, if you go there now, they do have some Wheel of Time merch, but it isn't things that they produced or made. It's overstock they bought from some of the other retailers that their licenses ended recently. So if you do go there and you see some jewelry and things like that, and you do buy it and you get it, if you're happy with it or unhappy with it or whatever it is, it's not things they produced or made. It's things that they bought in overstock and they are selling. My guess is to try to whet the appetite of people who want these things until they start producing their own material and objects. So I do want to thank you all for watching the video and for subscribing to the channel if you've done so. Leave a like if you do like the video. If there's anything I could have done differently or anything you'd like to see, leave it in the comments down below. My Twitter handle's also down in the description box. Follow me on Twitter. I release when the videos come out, and I do tweet quite extensively. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, there's that. You'll get some more information about things I'm doing. I do run polls and things, asking questions about what types of videos you guys would like to see. So there is that. All right. I do want to thank you all for watching, and here's to many more.